big boys of Premier League, Saturday Premier League and excitement are here for sure. And all the big boys on Saturday win all their games for sure. And this is what we are talking about. You see them on top of the table, you know this is the reason why they are up there. Manchester City won their game against Fulham. Arsenal also struggled a bit in the first half, but then ended up winning the game by 3 goals to 2 against the new entrant Southampton. You can't forget about Arne Slot Liverpool. If you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video for sure. With me is Sammy and Eddie, and we are going to give you the tactical analysis of the matches that happen on Saturday for sure. What's up, guys? Welcome to Achilles Sports. Sammy, Arsenal, I can't just think far. I was pissed off in the first half of the game against Southampton, but then in the end, they showed me that they are ready to compete for the Premier League title. What do you think about that game?
I think personally, I was disappointed because this is the second time I've seen Arsenal suffer. In fact, if you don't watch the game, you would think that Arsenal had a very easy game, but no. Southampton was very disciplined. The way they played it was top notch. They were able to hold Arsenal until Kai Havertz. They scored an earlier goal, then Kai Havertz came inside, and that's when I saw Arsenal trying to penetrate. The game, personally, for me, should have ended in a draw, but then little mistakes from Southampton made Arsenal get the 3 goals to 1. The last game too, we also saw the same thing from Arsenal, where they had scored some goals and they allowed Leicester City come into the game. So this is showing me that I think they are losing their tempo bit by bit. And if they are going to meet these top teams, they will suffer. It's one thing that Arsenal should start looking at, because those times Arsenal will always fight till the end. But this time it looks like sometimes they get very, very sloppy and then they allow the other team to come in. But then kudos to Saka, who also set his record for every time. If it's not a goal, it's an assist in the Emirates Sports Stadium for the past 7 games. He has been doing it back to back to back. And Kai Havertz too has set his own record, scoring every goal anytime he plays in the Etihad. It's been also 7 games. Anytime the Emirates, sorry. It's been 7 goals anytime he plays in the. So I think it's a good thing for both of them. Not forgetting the likes of Partey, our own Partey, who had a brilliant game playing the right back, but then he had a very solid game. On the other hand, I think Southampton too would hold their head high because they're able to fight for a long time. And Ramsdale too did a couple of saves, but at the end of the day, I think Arteta would have to sit down, use this international breaks to sit down and assess the team and see how best they can move forward.
Eddie, Arsenal contenders, judging the 3-1 win against Southampton.
If we are to judge their performance against Southampton yesterday, they fought to win the game by 3 goals to 1. And with such fighting spirit, I think they are still the contenders. Because if you check the league table, they are on the second position after. So they are still contenders. So they are the top, I think, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City. They are the top 3 on the league table. So they are still fighting for the table. They are still fighting for the first spot. So I think it's quite interesting, and they can probably fight harder. They can do more. Although these days they make some silly mistakes to be conceding, because for I think from game 1 to I think game 6 or game 5, they were able to play so good without even conceding less. But now I think silly mistakes is now costing them. But I think Arsenal is still the contenders for the title.
Arsenal is still the contenders for the title. Crystal Palace, Liverpool. I thought it was going to be massive deal for Crystal Palace, but then at home in their yard, Crystal Palace could not get that even a single point in that game. Liverpool showed what they were capable of doing. Eddie, Arne Slot and Liverpool. What a massive performance.
Yeah, Liverpool and Arne Slot, I think we still have to give them the accolades. We still have to give them the accolades for the great job he is doing with the Liverpool guys. Giving them the wins and everything. Nice football. For them to win their game, I think it's a plus. It's a plus to them. And I think anytime Liverpool is in a good form like this, it gives a special feeling or a special competition in the title race. Yeah. So I think for them to be at the top spots, it's going to be tough for Arsenal and Man City to compete with them. It's going to be tough, and that's what we will probably want to see. We want the title this season probably to be very, very competitive, not always Man City winning, Man City winning. It's always such way is always boring. But for Liverpool to be at that spot and winning the games for us, I think it's nice. It's good.
So, I mean, Liverpool are on top of the league table. Can they maintain it till the end?
I think it's going to be very difficult, though they have been able to show some impressive performances. I think the last game even alone, they really suffered. The first half was very quiet. Liverpool was all over the place, playing a very nice ball. We saw Salah. Salah was doing his thing. We saw Diego Jota having his goal, and it was 1-0. 8 minutes. Wow, Liverpool, let's see where it's going. When we went to the second half, everything changed. We saw that Liverpool started suffering. A lot of pressure came on Liverpool when they did some substitution. We saw that Alisson Becker is also injured. So they brought in their third goalkeeper. They had a couple of chances. There was even some questionable refereeing because there should have been a penalty. If you watch the game, you see that Van Dijk actually pulled Gay, which should have been a penalty, but then it was overlooked. But notwithstanding, this shows how the mentality of Liverpool, even when they suffer, they still get their 3 points. And it's a good thing which can push you towards getting the title. I think usually the title is decided the next window, that's after January. That is when the title is decided. But from now, right now, I think Liverpool is on the good path. And the squad depth they also have, the quality they have, I think is also impressive. Notwithstanding, I think Liverpool too has an edge to go for the
Yeah, Liverpool had the edge. And looking at the performance of Crystal Palace, the likes of Berichi, Eze, and Eddie Nketiah absolutely put the game to Liverpool. But then even Eddie Nketiah scored a goal, it was overruled because of offside until Liverpool a goal came on. It was an absolutely massive game for sure. But then Doku and Manchester City. Doku was absolutely incredible in that game. And I think now I'm beginning to admire him. The Doku I used to know is now in Premier League. Manchester City winning Fulham 3 goals to 2. It was just 50-50 game. Fulham is just Fulham. And in Etihad Stadium, I knew it was no way Fulham could come into that game. But then, what do you think about the performance of Doku?
Okay, let me start with the whole City, the whole game before I come to Doku. I think for all the games that Pep Guardiola has managed, that game, I can say that it's one of the games that he actually was almost having a heart attack, especially having that player called Adama Traore. They could have easily won the game. Fulham should have easily won the game. Adama missed so many chances. Adama was on the defenders. Adama was everywhere. Nobody could stop Adama. He actually did a lot of substitution just to contain Adama, but still, they could not stop Adama. And at the end of the day, Adama is one of the players that have caused a lot of problems to Guardiola ever since he moved to the EPL. But then talking of Doku, I think Doku had a brilliant game. Also, it was a superb strike having that goal. First, the problem with Doku was he can able to create the chances at the end of the day, but his finishing was poor. But I think right now that is what he's been working on to get a lot of finishing. And if he continues like that, we saw the likes of Mahrez, who aside assisting, he also could score. So if Doku also puts that in his game, I think he's going to be a top striker. But for me personally, he has not been able to convince me yet. Though he has the speed, he has the skill, but I need more maturity from him. But looking at the City side, I think City suffered a bit. They suffered a lot, not a bit. They suffered a lot. Adama could have actually won the game for Fulham. But then at the end of the day, Etihad and still having their record for over 40 games
40
unbeaten.
games. Yeah.
They are still holding that record. So there's kudos to City. I hope that Adama would actually come in stronger. I wish Adama won the game for Fulham.
How many goals in that game? Were you expecting?
Anytime City is playing, 90% of the expectations are probably more goals. As fellow investors, sometimes when City is playing, for us to probably get something small or something out of it, we go in for goals. And we probably got that in City against Fulham. But one surprising thing is Erling Haaland also give us a blank week. So this is a second time he has given us a blank week. I think game week 6 was a blank week, blank game for him this week as well. So I think is on the long run, he has to probably step up and probably give City the goals they deserve and probably also make us probably enjoy, Sometimes you go in for Haaland to score, and at the end of the day, you will give a very poor performance, not even an assist or something like that. So, following all being so good, they won the game, and probably things were good for Manchester City. So, kudos to them.
Things were good for Manchester City, and we all know what they are capable of doing. Yesterday, they did the same thing, and they remained the third position of the league table. Well, it's just the beginning of Pep Guardiola. In the beginning, it's always difficult for him, but then as time goes on, he builds the momentum, and when he tops the league table, that is it. And hey, other results that came on your way on Saturday is Brentford versus Wolves, 5 goals to 3. 8 goals in one match. What incredible game that was. And also, hey, Leicester won against Bournemouth. And one team that you should not underrate is Everton. Everton is building the momentum, and they were able to draw 0-0 against Newcastle United. If I were going to bet, probably I would go for Newcastle United, but then that was the games for you. And notwithstanding, West Ham United are also coming and coming. They won 4 goals to 0, 4 goals to 1 against Ipswich Town. And our own Mohamed Kudus getting a goal for the first time was incredible for West Ham yesterday. And if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video, and we are going to see you in the next video. Ciao.